All right, we are live on YouTube. I'm just waiting for the video to connect on my other monitor so I can grab that link and put it in our free business mastermind group so that our community can conveniently join us on YouTube Live and the live chat. Okay, let's see. It gave me the link. Let me grab that, put it over here in the group. Let me let that cycle on and post up, make sure it goes, and it did. Now I just need to make sure I can see the live chat. Scroll, baby, so I can see. All right, cool beans. Let's get started. Welcome to your First Six Figures morning show, where every show is intentionally more of an interactive coaching and training experience to position you, the online service-based entrepreneur, to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. All right. This week's blog is at shaycannon.com/copy. That's shaycannon.com/copy. Let me drop that link over there for y'all, because what we're talking about this week is the copycat proof playbook, how to protect, deliver, and dominate in your industry. All right. This came from not just personal experience, but also a conversation I had with a client. Good morning, Glow, over there on the YouTube side. She came to me and she was like, hey, my business big sister, I need some advice because everything that I put out, this other person that does what I do, she does everything that I do. Okay. So some of you may have experienced that, may have feelings around that. We're going to get into it this week because that has happened to me. And I put together some strategies that I want to share with you, because if you are good in your industry, if you are innovative in your industry, you may have this to happen to you. Okay. So let's get started with the blog. There's nothing more frustrating than pouring your heart, time, and creativity into crafting an innovative strategy, only to see your competitors swoop in, mimic your brilliance, and pass it off as their own. You know the blood, sweat, and midnight oil it took to create something truly impactful. Yet few recognize you as the originator when the copycats roll out their watered-down versions, okay? It's not just annoying, it's infuriating, especially when you're the one who put in the hard work to pave the way, only to watch others piggyback on your efforts without a shred of originality. So, having dealt with this in the past and continuing to do so, even from coaches I've paid money to, I've created some counter strategies that just may work for you too. All right. So, today we're going to talk about the first strategy. And that first strategy is have a Black Ops launch, okay? Have what I call a Black Ops launch. Now, what does that mean? It means the first step in stopping copycats in their tracks is to control the flow of information about what you're doing, okay? The less they know, the less they can mimic. Keep all pre-launch details tightly under wraps, whether it's a new product, a new service, a new strategy, whatever it is. Share only what's necessary with your team or trusted collaborators, and be intentional about what you reveal to the public. Even at launch, okay, because we were talking about pre-launch, keep it quiet. Now, even at launch, what you're going to do is you're going to focus on showcasing the transformation that your offer provides rather than the specific process behind it. Okay, did you catch that? Because that's the key. Okay, when you launch, focus on showcasing the transformation your offer provides rather than the specific process behind it. Let your audience see the results and the impact, not the steps it took to get there. This not only protects your innovation, but also positions you as the expert they need to guide them to that transformation. All right. Now, that's what's in the blog. I'm quite sure I got some amens, but I got some more strategies for you to help you get this Black Ops launch going. Keith has already said, yes, it's sad. Ain't it though? Man, look, it's hard out here for an innovator. Okay, so let me pull up these strategies. I got 10 of them. Okay, I have 10 of them. Now, for some of you, you might feel like, hey, this is, all this stuff that you're telling me to do may be going a little far. That lets me know you're not doing enough publicly. okay? Or you're not, or what you're doing publicly is just like everybody else. Because the minute you start doing something different, people jump on the bandwagon to do what you're doing because it's what? Different and innovative. And they're trying to stand out. So when they see you do it, they understand that not a lot of people are doing it, so I'm going to do it too, right? Or we don't have the same audience or impact the same people, so it'll look new to my people too, and I'll look like an originator too, right? And like I said, I've even had people who had a bigger audience than me or bigger influence than me see me do my thing on this little lower level and figure, hey, if I do it, I seem like the originator because I have more influence over more people, right? So we kind of run into that stuff. Now, if you're not there yet, that's fine. Keep this in the back of your mind. Keep this in the back of your mind, okay? How can you run a Black Ops launch? Step number one, or strategy number one, code named projects, okay? Code name projects. Give your launch a code name that reveals nothing about its actual purchase. Internally, refer to it only as this name, okay? Even externally, only as this name, to maintain secrecy and limit curiosity, okay? So when you're talking about it, give it a code name, all right? A name that, doesn't just tell everything about your business, okay? And how you're going to do it and what you're going to do by the name. So use some obscure, plain, general, vague name, and that's going to be your code name, okay? Number two, controlled rollout. I need you to have a controlled rollout, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to release your marketing in phases to a small, highly targeted audience. You can even use invite-only beta groups or exclusive access for existing clients to keep the low profile during the early stages, okay? So you've seen this before. Somebody come out with something new, but they already got testimonials. Why? Because they did a controlled rollout. They've rolled it out before. It's just going now to a wider audience. You can do the same thing, all right? Number three, silent marketing. Silent marketing. This is kind of like controlled rollout, but you can rely on direct communication methods like email or private groups rather than public-facing social media posts. This keeps your message targeted and less likely to be noticed by your competitors because you're kind of doing it silently to only your people, okay? It's not really big publicly out there on everything. It's in your private group. It's on your private email list. This is what I'm dubbing silent marketing, all right? Number four, anonymous previews. Anonymous previews. There's nothing like creating buzz, okay? So you can provide some sneak peeks or some teasers that focus on, again, the benefits without naming or showing the full product or the service. You can build intrigue without giving away too much detail, all right? Cool beans. Number five, distraction tactics. This is my favorite, right? When I know I'm going to do something truly just diabolically innovative, which I do a lot of times, I like distractive tactics. Then what happens is while preparing for your real launch, you release unrelated or small offers publicly to divert attention to those. Like that's what you're doing, okay? And this keeps your competitors focused elsewhere while you finalize your main initiative, and boom, you come out and busting with it, okay? So distraction tactics is another strategy you can use. Number six, decentralized team collaboration, okay? Now, this is more for when you have teams that are service providers that work with other people like you, okay? There are plenty of those. I'm not talking about like your VA that, she don't really know everybody else that work with you, but some of them do, right? Some of them do work with people just like you. There are some VAs that focus on working with service providers, a certain one. There are some VAs that focus on working with coaches, things like that, real estate. They can specialize. And so you might want to decentralize them too. Now, what do I mean by that? That means keep each team or collaborator focused only on their specific role. Okay, sharing just enough information for them to do their part. This minimizes the risk of unintentional leaks or copying before you even get your stuff out there. Okay. Number seven, non-traditional launch timelines, okay? So you can launch during an unconventional time like holidays or mid-quarter when competitors are less likely to be paying attention to market trends or new offers. I love to do my black and my black and orange Friday instead of Black Friday. I have it in the month of October, culminating on Halloween. Okay, ain't nobody paying attention to that right now. They too busy trying to get ready for Black Friday. They're not paying attention to what people are doing just yet, right? So by the time they paying attention, I'm probably doing the third cycle of it. Okay, so non-traditional launch timelines can help too. You're just basically doing it at a time that's not busy, and I love that because not a lot of people are launching at that time because it's a non-traditional time to launch. It'll be more eyes on you as far as the people looking for solutions, not necessarily the people that do what you do. All right. Number 8, limited edition positioning. Okay, limited edition positioning. You're going to frame your offer as a time-sensitive or limited edition opportunity, which not only creates urgency, but it also reduces the chances of prolonged study by your competitors, right? Because the less time you have it out there, the more time, what is that? Okay, the less time that you have it out there, the more time that they don't have to study everything that you're doing. Okay, cool beans. Number 9, an invisible funnel. Okay, an invisible funnel. So what you can do is use an indirect funnel. Okay, and we're talking about funnel. We're talking about email automations that don't explicitly mention the new offer. Okay, for example, create a free lead magnet or webinar on a related topic that attracts your ideal audience, but only reveal the new offer to those who sign up, right? That's all. The people that are there and the people that signed up on that segmented email list. So again, and you start them down a funnel that only they have access to. All right, that's an invisible funnel. Number 10 is really a segue to what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but I love it though, okay? So a surprise over delivery, okay? Under promise during the build up to your launch, then over deliver after it's live, okay? By exceeding client expectations in ways competitors couldn't predict, you'll make your innovation stand out even more, okay? Even more. Now, I'm going to go back through these 10 without all the extra. We are going to start with Kimberly. You can answer the question in the studio since you're probably the Dream Funder, and we'll start with Dr. Latoya. The question is, have you ever been frustrated by someone copying your creativity or your genius for their own gain? And if so, what did you do? Dr. LaFear, what kind of dirty clothes pile you got going on in my video? Let me go and stop your video. What is going on? All right, let's go to the 10 strategies without all the extra. So start thinking about some of these things that may help you. Okay, you can even tell me if something would have helped you when you experience this. So number 1, code name your projects. Number 2, do a controlled rollout. Number 3, silent marketing. Number 4, anonymous previews. Number 5, distraction tactics. Number 6, decentralized team collaboration. Number 7, non-traditional launch timelines. Number 8, limited edition positioning. Number 9, invisible funnel. And number 10, surprise over delivery. Okay. So the question, have you ever been frustrated by someone copying your creativity or your genius for their gain? Do you think any of these things would help? Do you have any questions about any of these strategies? We're going to start with Dr. Latoya.
Yeah, I have not had that as an experience, so I give thanks and continue to say that will be my experience. The worst I've had is people making fake social media accounts that are pretending to be me. That's my biggest one.
Well, hell, that's worse.
It is pretty bad. That one is pretty bad.
They didn't just steal your offer and put it on their neck. They stole you.
Yeah, they basically just take everything and put it on their thing. And luckily, people. So you try to say, y'all, I'm not gonna be shady. I'm not gonna be in your inbox, right? Most of the people that follow you know your character and know your ethics. So when they start doing those shady things, but yeah, that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. You look, I will say, even with that, you probably still need to listen up all this week because that's a little worse. But yeah, Kimberly says same thing happened to me on TikTok. Yeah, yeah. And so you just got to make sure you calling these people out, right? This is not, me. I've had plenty of people that I follow, where somebody has made a duplicate account of theirs, and they do it so cool, y'all, right? So there's this guy named Wisdom K that does all the fashion compilations or whatever. I follow him, and so I can tell by his personality that he's a yeah, he seems extroverted, but he clearly is introverted. And I could tell that he worries about people judging him, but he makes his content anyway, right? So I'm always, yeah, Wisdom K. You like him, Dr. Tachi? So I'm always putting, like, if I'm one of the first to be able to comment, I'm always putting encouraging things in there. And then I had somebody inbox me that had an account that's saying Wisdom K, right? And saying thank you for, I really appreciate it, whatever. I was like, okay, no problem. I enjoy your work. I think you're phenomenal, right? And then they kept trying to talk, and I was like, wait a minute, because he ain't got time for all this talking. Wait a minute, who is this? And come to find out, it's a cloned account, right? And so, all they're going to do is try to sell you something, or who knows, it might be the lady who got taken for $80,000 by Brad Pitt. Hey, watch yourself is what I'm going to say. So that's why I was telling you, Dr. Toya Hill, it's even worse when they just clone you. That's even worse. But yes, this cloning is no joke. Especially now during the days when they can do a video that looks like it was you and a voice that sounds like it was you, because we got so much content out here that they can teach it to sound like us now, just like we could teach it to sound like us, right? I'm looking at my YouTube. I got almost 900 videos on my YouTube. You think that's enough video of my voice being Alabama and country for them to get it right? I think that's enough videos, right? So we do have to call it out. But this week, just pay attention, because these strategies that I came up have served me well. And I think they will serve you too, even in this age of AI and cloning. Okay. Cool beans. So let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, have you ever been frustrated by someone copying your creativity or your genius for their own gain? Do you think any of these strategies will help you? Just tell us what's your story, Cheryl?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it's kind of going on right now, but where it really hit was when I was on Clubhouse. And but God is good. He already knows what's going down. And it was when I did my first room, and the young lady came on and came up on the stage or whatever, somebody that I knew. But you know how you say you see somebody and you just say something's not right. And um you give your story because your story sells. Yes. And she tried to basically say, that doesn't seem quite right because I was told X, Y, and Z happens. And always keep that piece of information just waiting for that person that wants to step out and be stupid. And I said, well, actually, it happened with two people on it, actually. And I said, well, see, the thing is, it was about my book going #1 in 4 different countries. And I said, well, and she said, you have to have translations and you have to pay for this. Well, I'm a literary agent. I know all about that. Okay. And I just let her talk. And then I said, well, you see, I grew up in Europe. And one of the things over there is that from the day they enter school in most of those countries, they have to learn English until the day they leave. So why would I pay for translations when they can buy the book and read it because they speak English? And
I'm sorry, I'm enjoying that a little too much. Man, hilarious.
There was there's always that, keep that little piece of information. And what I learned to do was the silent marketing. And I deal directly. I didn't even have a real funnel. It's just direct to those people, and I keep it small, but you can have small numbers. I remember Darba saying, "You don't have a lot of people. You got a small group, yet your stuff hits, and it does this and it does that." My group is like, I call them the 300, because it was usually just that. So at the end of the day, #1, God is the CEO of my business. So when we have our business meetings, I ask, Lord, how? give me a strategy, because that's something that makes my eyebrow twitch, and I don't even want to go there.
Listen.
And I Mike.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. Shawana Kennedy Media. Have you ever been frustrated by someone copying your creativity or your genius for their own gain? Do you think one of these strategies will help you? And do you have any questions about any of the strategies?
Yeah, no, of course, my one signature thing is, of course, the pom-pom.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I started rolling that out. And then, like you said, when you have people that actually probably have more resources, bigger people, I noticed the next events that's one of the things that started showing up. And it tickled me. But yeah, so even with something like that, I was listening at the strategy. So I was trying to see how could something like that it's something that is actually a signature for me, what I could do. But if you see me and it's on a picture, but yeah, that came right to the top, because I was annoyed. Yet what they say, what they say when somebody copy off of you, the best form of
No, it's thievery. It's thievery. 'Cause you hear me?
But yeah, it did. That really did. And it was
Uh-huh.
it was actually a couple of
That
different.
imitation being the best
Yeah,
form of flattery.
yeah.
I believe
And
it.
it would really, when they had their whole team was walking around doing it in an event. And it's because because that's a signature, I took mine to represent me so that I could stand out, because it's me. And it started showing. I said, wow, okay,
Listen.
this is what we
And I
doing.
feel like there's a difference in the people who are in my tribe, because y'all could take everything I do and do the same thing, and I would not care, because you've invested in me with your
Yeah,
with your
exactly.
money,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So I teach you
yes,
to do what I do, and if you
yes.
see me doing something, I don't care. To me, it's the people over there being shady, the ones who do exactly what you do, and they are putting their name on what you're doing.
Yeah, no,
Those
you're
that
correct, because you're right. If it was one of the
let me tell
people
you.
who I know that I've had the opportunity to lend even in this case, my confidence, right? To lend that, and that has been something that they know or they see as a symbol to celebrating themselves. You're correct. If I see them with that, it does my heart good, because I know that they're stepping in and crossing over into some other stuff. But
Exactly.
that is the truth today. Okay, yeah.
Gotcha.
But
Cheryl,
we
you wanted to
also
add something else?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but see, we also gonna give you credit. We're gonna tell, yeah, I got this from so and so, and for you, because you're the
Exactly.
original. See, so that it's how you do it, and as well as what you do and what you say.
Love it. Look, I'm distracted by Dr. Latoya's new picture. She over here serving cuteness and shit, and I'm getting thrown off. All right, let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, have you ever been frustrated by someone copying your creativity or your genius for their own gain? Do you think one of these strategies will help you? And do you have any question about any of the strategies?
No, I've never had this happen.
Okay. And you're going big with the network. Let's just keep your eyes open. Is what I'll say.
Yeah, but I mean, my thing is let them do it all they like. They there's only one you and only one way that you do things, so people can copy. But if it is not crafted and meant for them, whatever little success will start to crumble. And not that you wish for people's downfall, but they can't do things the way that you do. So even there are 10 million people that make t-shirts. There's room in the marketplace for everybody. Now, if you're trying to do things shadily, because it crumbles. It crumbles. If this is not something that you can do, it always fails. So I'm not worried. Everybody, all of you in here, you get a network, you get a network, all of you can start networks. That's fine. It's not going to be what I do. So I'm not necessarily worried.
Got it. Love it. Sherry, you want to add something again?
We're gonna get her to help us with the network anyway.
Hilarious. So, and I do want to tell people, like, there is a difference between somebody taking your idea and making it their own, and somebody doing exactly what they have seen you do, knowing they're doing it in a shady way. And we can feel the difference, because how it feels to us hits different, right? So let me explain something. Business is built on building a better mousetrap. It is. And that's just the way that it goes. So somebody taking your idea, expanding upon it and making it better or adding to it, That's business. Somebody doing exactly what you do. They're in your network. Y'all share friends and everybody can see they're doing exactly what you doing. Yeah. We can feel the shadiness. Kimberly, we thought you was at the Dream Fund that had made a mistake. Your hand up on purpose, but what you want to say, Kimberly?
It is up on purpose because I figured I couldn't type all of this in the chat, so I'm
Okay.
telling y'all this. But when the one that I had where so I was in a mastermind beauty group mastermind, and I came up with a new package for my bomb, and the package was a hit. And then somebody else that's in the same group that's also was in my close circle decided they were going to do the same thing, and so now they're using that same package. But what I did not tell her was that the feedback that I got from the package meant that I needed to stop using it and go back to the drawing board. And so now from what I understand, people are having that same issue. But I was like, you know what, that's what you get. I mean, I hate that I did that. I mean, you know, so I'm just saying, the package was perfect for what it is, but I am in the process of I went back to the jar just so I could do it. So
I love it. I love it. That is so funny. And again, that's another one of those things where I tell y'all, be careful trying to reverse engineer when you're not an engineer. Be careful. Thank you for sharing that, Kimberly. All right, but also put it in the comments, Kimberly, if you think the strategies will help you or if you have any questions about the strategies. All right, let's go to Keith. He said they have cloned and reported my account trying to take me down. This is why you must have your documentation ready. I'll start using control marketing over delivery. Yes, Keith. Yes, I love it. I love it. Dr. Tachi said, I delight in such things. May the universe punish them. Yes, I mean, shout out to Jennifer Jasper. God ain't petty, but I am. All right, so let's go to Dr. LaFera, I think is next. Did we do you, Dr. LaFera? Because you know my whole
No,
little
you
thing.
punched me down off the top of the line or something. That's what you did.
All right, well,
I
my
didn't
bad.
know I
Dr.
was off
LaFera,
camera or on
have you
camera.
ever been frustrated by someone copying your creativity or your genius for their own gain? Do you think one of these strategies will help you? And do you have any questions about the strategies?
Actually, I have. Well, my main offer was my beauty stuff. I like all my stuff is created because it's free of like toxic chemicals, compared to like what's out there. And so I started talking about, like the ingredients, and like actually I started talking about like how to use foods to get similar effects. And then I noticed somebody that was a lot bigger than me, like in the same group, like what the Kimberly was in. But they were like making like millions. And it frustrated me, and I got fixated on it, and I started like not posting stuff that I wanted to post because I was trying to figure out how to do it without kind of seeing the same stuff that I was doing. And I don't like that because it caused me to not post stuff like or to sit too long on it and to like look at what they're doing, like wow, like they weren't doing that before. It was like,
yeah.
And so like I knew I was possibly onto something, but like in the end, I got offered to buy their stuff. Like people don't know that, and I don't really say that, but to buy their business. But I didn't buy it, but because both of our businesses were, at the time not doing great. But yeah.
Understood. And let me just tell y'all, so pay attention to the whole week, right? Because these are just some strategies, right? Pay attention to the whole week. If you want to jump ahead, go to the blog, shaycannon.com/copy. Because like Kimberly said, I know the strategies will, can you provide guidance for product-based businesses? I've seen where someone used a similar post, but just put their product in place of mine. So Kimberly, there's not a strategy that we talked about today that can't be used for product-based businesses. Code name your project, do a controlled rollout, do silent marketing, anonymous previews, distraction tactics, decentralize the team, especially when you're working with people that work with other people that kind of do what you do. Non-traditional timelines, limited edition positioning, invisible funnel, surprise over delivery, all of that a product-based business could do. There's nothing that's specific to a service-based business, even though that's my main core audience.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
What you got, Dr.
When
LaFerre?
you said code name your product, do you mean because people will try to steal like a nice product name that you have and use it for their own? Is that what you mean?
They do all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's what I've been doing too.
I've been building up my immunity to such things. So, I tell y'all all the time when I'm about to do something, and I tell y'all publicly on this show, hey, I'm about to do so and so and so and so, because I've kind of put blinders on because I'm super creative and I am in touch with all of these entrepreneurs. So I see my stuff come up a lot, including, like I said, coaches I've paid good money to. So I'm kind of immune to it a little bit. But now I may use one name for it that is, before it comes out, right? Like while I'm working on it. So think about like a military operation. They don't tell you they finna go in Afghanistan for this or that. They call it Project Green or something. You know what I'm saying? Like they call it something that is not necessarily going to point to what it's about. So when you're talking about it before you launch it, you just give it a different name so that you can refer to it without giving away what special name that you come up with, so that when it comes out for the first time, it was you that did it, is one of those. She said, I can't use it now. It's trademarked and I don't have the resources to fight it. That's Kimberly. Who trademarked it, Kimberly? They trademarked it after hearing you say it, or you trademarked it and they used it and you didn't defend it?
No, they trademarked it after hearing. So the name of my foot bomb was Keep On Stepping Foot Bomb. And so someone local here in Atlanta, that's a doctor, believe it or not. And I actually met him at one of a pop-up. I realized he was at one of my pop-ups. And then the next thing I know, the same person who sent me did the thing with the packaging sent me a link to his page, and now he has a foot cream called Keep On Stepping, and he trademarked it like right away. And I could fight it because I've been using it longer, but I just didn't have the resources financially to retain an attorney to help me fight it. And Raven was no help. So I'm not even in her name. I'm sorry. She was no help. So
I mean, you didn't say a last name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, but anyway. So yes, especially when when we name our offers as service-based people, it's easier for us to name stuff and move on, right? Name stuff and not worry about who else uses the name after we name it or whatever. It is harder for a product-based business to do that. And this is why, Kimberly, this is why you use some of these tactics and strategies, like you use the code name, or you do the anonymous preview where you just say foot bomb, right? You don't say what the specific name is going to be. You just let them know I'm coming out with a foot bomb, that type of thing. But in your product development, one of the early stages is trademark. So we cannot forget, we can't start skipping steps because in product-based product development, trademarking is in there before you start releasing to people.
Right. I did. So the mistake that I made was not trademarking the individual product names. The brand name is trademarked.
Yeah.
But the different names are the ones that I haven't trademarked. So that I didn't trademark, but they're in the process of trademarking. I have a new name for the foot bomb that I'm in the process of trademarking as well.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you guys unfortunately have to do your brand and the products when you're using specific creative names for the product in addition to the brand name, right? So if it was just Me Too Naturals foot bomb, Me Too Naturals, the brand is already trademarked. So you don't need a trademark for that product name. But if you're going to do, stepping out, foot bomb by Me Too Naturals, then you're going to have to trademark stepping out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That part.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's still a part of the development of that particular product. Yes, you have to do the brand, but you also, if you're giving a creative name to the product name needs to be trademarked. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a minute, right? Go talk to your IP attorneys. That's intellectual property attorneys. I am not a licensed attorney. Shout out to Dr. Latoya for always reminding me that. But you, generally speaking, okay, generally speaking, you trademark a name and a mark, or, you know, iconography, right? That's what you trademark. If it has content to it, like a course or a book or music, you copyright it. Okay. If you want to allow somebody else to use it under their brand, that's licensing. Okay. So when you have intellectual property, you have to know when to copyright, okay, when to trademark, and when to license. There are, take for example, with licensing, all of the Divine Nine, right? You're not supposed to just be able to go on Canva and put one of these Divine Nine Greek organization stuff, okay? Just because, not, and funny is, you, not even if you Divine Nine should you be doing it, but definitely not if you're not, because you're selling their intellectual property, okay? So, yeah, you have to buy a license to create stuff with that on there. So that's something else to consider. Kimberly, what did you want to add?
One thing, this might make you guys chuckle though. What I did when I went and looked at the trademark, the one thing that his trademark attorney didn't tell him that he shouldn't trademark the name and the logo together. What he did. So now he's stuck. He can never change. He can never separate them. So he's always got to have that high heel shoe with the name of the product on there. So which means a man might look at it and say, I don't want that. That made me feel better, even though I cried my eyes out that night. I saw it. So
yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
That's one thing about it. Where you got genius, it's some more in there. So don't even worry about it. All right, y'all. Anybody else got any questions or any value adds, Dr. Latoya?
Yeah, I was just gonna add, just similar to like when I come up with a program or whatever, like before I put it out, I go and get the URL, I go and get the social media handles, like I go and get everything. So even if like I don't end up using it, right, or I put it out, I'm like, yeah, I don't like it. I figure if somebody tries to take the name, they can't, because, or they will be less likely to, because they won't be able to access anything to actually promote it. So that's kind of one of the ways that I help myself not have other people take my, at least the names of my things.
I love that. That's a great tip, Dr. Latoya. I used to do that, but the problem with that is, y'all, I get so many great ideas. I be around here collecting all these Facebook. I'm so tired of these Facebook things I've collected, and now Zucker the fucker won't let me get rid of them. Every time I try to close a page out, it goes back live on its own and stuff, and I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. So I recognize that as a service-based business, I'm not as married to some of my offering names. Dr. Latoya, however, you have such an innovative thing going on. I understand why you're doing what you're doing. Dr. Tachi, what else did you want to add?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That makes sense. Definitely for Dr. Latoya and what she does. The thing is, and you know this, even though you said you're not a licensed attorney, Attorney Shay, um, that's not admissible. That doesn't hold up in court. So what holds up is what you have actually registered. So I've seen so many cases of people who have they're like, oh, okay. And people always say, oh, well, make sure you go and get the social media handles and all of that. That's nice. But if you can have all of that, but if you don't have the registered trademark, if you don't have the copyright, if somebody else takes it first, then it's a whole long battle in court to prove that you had, for which most people don't have the money for. So if it's something that you know you actually want to use, I would say look at the trademark for those things rather than just the social media and the website and all of that.
Yeah. So that's true, Dr. Tachi, but what she was saying is that when people go to trademark, they try to go and get the socials and stuff to match, and they're less likely to trademark something she's using because she done took up all the social real estate. And so that would make them less likely to use it, a lot of them. Now, it doesn't stop some of them. For some of them, they can put, you know, the in front of it, original in front of it, you know what I'm saying, real in front of it, all those things. But people are less likely to use a name if they can't own all of this social and online real estate. She wasn't quite saying that it's, you know, it'll hold up in court because you have it.
Yeah, no,
Because
no, that's not what I'm saying at all.
okay.
Absolutely, that's 100% true. But I think sometimes people take that and they say, oh, well, as long as I have X,
Yeah.
Y, Z, I'm good.
No,
All
you
of the
are
thing
correct.
is like you still have to have the legal end of it.
Yes, you are correct. And please stop thinking that because you mailing yourself stuff that is the quote unquote poor man's copyright. There is no such thing. It's either copyrighted or it's not. And the only copyright is through the government. So cut it out. Cheryl, you wanted to add something?
That's exactly what I was getting ready to add. It's like that poor man's copyright. It doesn't exist. And people keep getting their feelings hurt and their business or their books stolen because you have people that do nothing but search ISBN numbers to find out and check out the book to find out if they're copyrighted. So many authors at Amazon do not have a copyright, and then they're really upset when they're taken to court by this schemer, and they have to turn over the money to that person because they have the copyright. It's sad. So, what you and Dr. Tachi are saying is legally protect your property. I had someone try to take the tenant and logo that I had for my agency. And I kept thinking, and see, there's the other thing too. If you can show proof, the burden of proof. And I kept thinking, how did this person get a hold of that? Because I was doing some serious silent marketing, with that. And I prayed on it. And I woke up, I don't know, it was like maybe 2 a.m. or something, and just felt led to go on Facebook. And I saw that the person who had done my website, who I had no idea, knew this other person.
Yeah.
And the person was given a conference and they put the stuff up there. So I contacted her and asked her to cease and desist. And she said, oh, I've been using this for years. I could prove she wasn't because I did not put up a web page until I think about 11 years into the agency, because I said I was not going to put up a web page if I had nothing to say. And so at the end of the day, I told her, I said, my people can talk to your people, and I'll definitely be at the lunch. So let's just do this. And she wrote me back and she said, well, I don't really need it anyway, because my conference is really famous. Said to myself, nobody's heard of it, but okay. All I can.
Yeah, I mean, people are funny. They really are funny. And so yeah, I've had various things happen to me where I've had to send cease and desist. Another thing, kind of like the tip that Dr. Latoya gave and that Dr. Tachi reinforced, that you still need to go legal. Another thing that I do is when I think of a name that I feel like is creative, I go search for it on Google. I search for it on social media. And I do a screen grab of that search coming up as nothing. Now, when I do the screen grab, I do the whole screen that shows the date and the time in the corner, not just the picture. Okay, so I do a desktop screen grab. So it shows that date and time at the bottom. I will do a search inside of the trademark search online, and I will do a screenshot of how nobody was using it then. And I have a whole file of, I make a note of the date I started using it. So that when I'm ready, cause y'all will see me put a TM on a lot of stuff, trademark, cause that shows my intention that I am going to get it registered. And so, but before I start using that TM, I've done a search. Okay. And then I started showing where I show the date I started using that TM that shows my intention. So again, get you a IP attorney. Okay. Don't just take it from us, get an IP attorney. But these are just some of the tips and tricks that even if they don't work, it make us feel better. Okay. So get you an attorney. Kimberly said, go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
No, read Kimberly's, and I just have a quick something.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, so years ago, I was the operations manager for a group called Live in Color. Now, if that sounds familiar, that was because they were on the first season of America's Best Dance Crew. So they founded it as a, like basically a group of kids, and it was a collective out of Miami that used to dance. So we got approached when we went to the San Francisco Hip Hop Festival by the creator of America's Best Dance Crew, and it was called The Crew at first. So we said, okay, but not everybody could go. The crew was bigger, it was like 25 people, but 4 people could go to the show and represent. Those were the only ones that were able to go. So what ended up happening is behind the back of the founder, they went and tried to trademark the name Live in Color so that they would have it. Now, luckily, we caught it in time because I saw something. I was like, Zed, did you see this? So it hadn't gone through. So we were able to do a cease and desist with all of that. So nothing happened. However, if you are starting anything, or even if it's been, and this was family, these were his cousins that did this. So even if it's family, even if it's been a long time, even if it still don't trust, still go on and copyright, trademark, or whatever the thing is. So just that little example.
I love that. Thank you for that, Dr. Tachi. Kimberly said it's copyrighted as soon as it's a fixed and tangible medium of expression. In order to protect and litigate, you must have a copyright with U.S. copyright registration. Yep, that is exactly right. All right, cool beans. Well, y'all know that the morning show is additional value for our free business mastermind group. So we have group announcements. All right. So first of all, today we had the 10 strategies. You need that. It's in my show notes. There's only 2 ways to get the show notes. First way is to be in our free business mastermind group, and they live in the files section. The second way is you can get the entire morning show in your email inbox. You'll get 2 emails every broadcast day, 1 in the morning reminding you to hop on the YouTube Live, and 1 in the afternoon with a link to the replay and a link to the show notes, okay? So if you want that, the whole morning show in your inbox, go to shaycannon.com/show and sign up, all right? Today, from 1 to 5, is a Get Shit Done work session for the paid membership only. So check your Google Calendar and your member dashboard and the private Slack channel for the link to join. On Thursday, we have movie club night. So I'm going to put the poll out either today or tomorrow so we can vote on what movie we're going to watch. We do not watch the movie together. You watch the movie, you take notes and pull out all the business nuggets, and we come together on movie club night and we discuss the notes. So it's just like book club, but it's movie club. All right. Friday is another Get Shit Done work session, but for this one, the free group is invited to come on the second half, and so that information is for the free group is in the free group, and of course for the paid group, it is on your Google Calendar on your member dashboard, and it'll be put in the private Slack channel. All right. Also, if you are in the paid membership, the quarterly CEO productivity membership, schedule your bonus one-on-one. There are no slots after February the 6th, so it is definitely one of those use it or lose it, okay? All right. Cool. Tomorrow, so the last of the strategies was surprise over delivery, right? And I said that is a precursor and a great scoop for tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to talk about do what most can't, okay? And that's going to be about getting actual results, because a lot of people can't do that. Before we leave over on the YouTube side, Glow said I had people try to copy my group to only come back and be a part of my group. Ain't that some shit? And then DeWanda said good morning. Good morning, DeWanda. All right. So, where am I announced? Okay, here we go. So, to find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, how to join the free business mastermind group, go to the description below. All right. If you haven't already, do me a favor and give us a thumbs up for this episode. And also make sure that you subscribe to the channel and understand that this is going to be a series, one of like 4 videos. So make sure you keep up with the entire series. All right. And with that, we are out of here. We'll see you back here tomorrow so we can talk about getting results, which most of your copycat people cannot do. So we're going to talk about that more tomorrow. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.